Hey guys, welcome to Conversations with My Little Bro, where I have conversations with my little bro. If you haven't watched it before, this is just us talking about
Literally anything.
that comes to mind. In this case, the topic of conversation is going to be a little philosophical. I called it liberating realizations.
Okay. I didn't even know this.
But I just called it that because I don't know, I think it's a powerful message. So there are two liberating realizations that happen during the course of my life, I guess.
Right.
And honestly, it's during the past maybe 3 to 4 years, to be honest.
I know one of them.
Yeah, where like no, but these are like sentences, like
Okay.
just a sentence that I've kind of heard, but like now I'm finally implementing them, and therefore I feel more liberated as a person and like a bit happier. And there's only two of them that I feel like completely apply to where I'm currently in life. So the first one is that nobody is going to care if I die,
Wow.
right? And now you can say, and you can see it as that could be a sad realization,
I mean, I know what you mean,
but to me, it's a liberating one. Most people, and I take an example. Let's say somebody that you really like, which is Michael Jackson.
okay. Yeah.
Michael Jackson is somebody that we can talk about, and is a legend. And pretty much after he died, that was it. Like, yeah, it was very sad. And maybe Michael Jackson after that sold a lot of shit.
Yeah, he made more money dead than alive.
But then once that phase is over, I think Michael Jackson is one of the few people that, I don't know, when David Bowie died, was maybe like a week.
Yeah, maybe a month at most.
When Prince died,
Same thing.
same thing.
Yeah.
I think Michael Jackson is probably, I don't know, still a little bit.
Yeah, people still talk about him. I mean.
Yeah, but and it's still sad, and I think it's still sad that Prince died and David Bowie died. But I think that the stage of mourning of people was relatively short, like let's say a month or 2 months.
Right.
But nobody is currently still mourning, besides maybe their families,
Okay.
right? And so therefore, no matter, I don't think I'll ever in my life be as big of a star or be as important as Michael Jackson,
Okay. Yeah, I mean.
right? And it's not to be pessimistic. It's just also not my goal to be that,
Right.
and it's not my aspiration. And even if it was, I think it would be really hard to achieve what he achieved. But with that in mind, knowing that it is going to be very unlikely that I'll get to that point in my life where I'm like such a huge personality,
Right.
that like even if I die, look at the recognition that he got, which was a lot, but now people have moved on and
Yeah.
life still going, and nobody cares if you die, which is what I'm saying is a liberating realization.
Okay. I mean, I know what you mean. I
so
don't know
like-
if that's the best way to phrase it.
So yeah, so up to that point, why is it liberating? Because so far it sounds like it's very sad. It's like,
Right.
well, nobody's gonna care if you die. Well, if nobody cares if I die, then I can just live my life doing whatever I want without taking other people into consideration, without like making the decisions that I want, without worrying about a lot of people's opinions. I don't care about their opinions. I can just be myself, and it's liberating knowing that like even if I die, nobody's gonna care that I said or did something, right? Maybe my family is gonna mourn me,
Right.
and then that's it.
Oh.
And therefore I can just live happy doing what I want without worrying so much about other people's opinions. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's a liberating realization, whereas some people may see it as pessimistic or as a sad one. I I see it the opposite way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have something to say up to there.
I don't know. It's just the phrasing of it makes it sound. I mean, I know what you mean.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you mean. But the way you phrase it sounds selfish, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like then again, I understand if you want to do something and it makes you happy, like I don't know, you may be just going to skydiving. Like I might think that's dangerous, or like you might go do some dangerous drugs in like Peru or something.
Mhm.
And like I would be like, why would you do that? You have people here that care about you. That's dangerous. Why would you do that? But if it makes you happy, it's like like I may be upset that you're doing it because it's like, oh well, if something happens to you, we all
Mhm.
have to go through the pain.
Yeah.
So in a way, like it's like I get what you mean. Like you feel free, like I shouldn't worry about what other people think, which makes sense. Like I shouldn't worry about what other people think, and I do all the time. So I get where that desire comes from, but I think the way you phrase it makes it like seem like nobody else's opinion matters at all, or nobody else's thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think what life for me is about being happy.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think a lot of my happiness comes from, I think, well, not fully yet, but will be being financially independent. That has been a goal of mine for a long time, which I'm
Yeah.
still not able to get there. I think a lot of my
Right.
happiness, once I become financially independent doesn't mean I want to be rich or a millionaire. I mean, I would like to be rich and I would like to be a millionaire, but it's not my ultimate goal. I just want to be financially independent. Once I achieve that, then I can just branch out of that.
Right.
So it's a work in progress to reach financial independence.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, doing what I like and being happy. I think a lot of my happiness will be knowing that I no longer have to depend on my parents or on anybody else, but I can depend 100% on me. And I think that's like a stage in life that I've never been able to have.
Right.
And I really want to have it. I really want to know that I can make it on my own. And that I can sustain myself without having other people backing me up. And it's not because I don't want their help. It's just I kind of want to prove it just for me. And yeah, it's selfish, but it's kind of what I want. Some people are driven by other things. In this case, I'm just driven just by knowing that I can do it. So I want to be happy, and like this realization of like knowing that nobody's gonna care if I die. I mean, people are gonna care.
Yeah.
But in the big picture,
Yeah.
it's like a nobody.
I know what you mean.
Doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out there and be reckless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just means that I'm gonna go out there and do all the stuff that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that obviously means that, well, I guess for some people, the things that make them happy maybe is doing drugs or bullying people or committing crimes or whatnot. That's not what makes me happy.
Right.
In this case, I feel like I'm a much better, I'm a healthier person in that aspect, where I think I have a good moral compass. Therefore, the things that I'm gonna do that make me happy is gonna be for my own benefit and for my own good, and it's not gonna be detrimental to my health or my life.
I figured that's what you meant. It's just because it's just a phrasing.
Yeah. So that's the first liberating realization, which is in the big picture, in the big scheme of things, nobody is really gonna care if I die or not.
Right.
Aside from my close ones and my loved ones, my family, you, my mom, my girlfriend, everybody that loves me, that is in my close circle. Yeah. So that. The second realization is realizing, and not realizing, but is the monk. What is that?
Oh, that everything's your fault?
Yeah.
The Shaolin monk?
The Shaolin monk approach.
Oh, I love this.
thinking.
I need to get better at this.
Assuming, so the Shaolin monks live their lives under one specific principle, which is assuming that everything that happens in their life is their fault, right? Now, just assuming that this is right, not saying that that's how everybody should
Right.
live or
Right.
that's the absolute truth. It's just assuming in this example that that is right. And I think I've been assuming it for quite a while now. It has been very liberating, and it makes me really happy knowing that everything is my fault. Because, in a way, if I succeed, I know it was because of me. If I do something good, I know it's because I did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bad part of that is that if everything bad happens in my life, then it's also my fault.
Yeah.
If I haven't reached financial independence, then it's my fault. I haven't gotten there. And that could be troublesome for some people. Some people may not take it as...
Because some people are dealt a bad hand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think to me what that really means is you shouldn't make excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's essentially what it is. But I mean, yeah, the way it's phrased is like a very extreme way, but I think that's essentially what it means. It's like everybody's dealt a different hand, and your hand may be really bad, but you should try to play that hand your best, and you should try to be thankful and grateful for the things you have instead of complaining about and making excuses for the things you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's obviously for people who have it really bad, those people tend to get angry because it's like,
I'm not saying that it's easy for everybody. I know for one of our cousins, that was like one of the things when I was talking
Which one?
to her. I don't want to say names.
Well, no, I know, but anyway.
But we were having conversations, and then she stopped.
Okay, I know. Yes.
Having conversations, and then what ended up happening is that in one of the conversations that we had, I told her, try to do that. Everything that has happened in your life, assume that it's your fault.
Yeah.
And I told her the benefit of it, and I told her the drawbacks of it, and for the most part, she only saw the drawbacks. I don't think she saw any benefit from it. She started blaming herself for everything. She went into a lot of depression. She said, of course, everything is my fault because this and this reason, and I'm not where I want to be because this and this reason. And then, and at the time, it was very hard for me to explain what the benefits were. Right. It was just something that I practiced and that it worked really well for me. But I didn't know that there could be a drawback to it. And I wasn't aware that could be a thing. Now I know that if you start blaming yourself for everything, it could not be so good if you're not in a good place mentally.
Yeah.
Right? But I think once you get past the, let's say, I don't know how to explain it. If I'm not where I want to be in life, if I'm poor, maybe if I'm homeless, if I don't want to say that being homeless doesn't mean that you're not happy. It's just let's say that you want to be, I'll take my own example. I want to be financially independent.
Right.
And I'm not. And I blame myself for not getting there.
Yeah.
I could start blaming myself, and because I blame myself so much that I haven't gotten there, I can go in a downward spiral of making wrong decisions and desperation because I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah, I guess if you think like that, there's a chance that it makes you want to give up because
correct, because they say, it's my fault that I'm where I'm at.
I'm never gonna get there.
But then if I also say it's my fault that I'm here, it also, the way that it works for me is that it motivates me that it's I have to stop doing all the things that I'm currently doing and better myself. Right? I have to start doing things that will get me out of the position that I'm at.
Right.
And in that way it's liberating because now I know how I got here. I know it's my fault. and all I have to do is to slowly start improving. And by slowly improving, eventually, I know that I'll get there.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I'll get there, but I like to think that I'll get there based on the decisions that I'm making.
Right.
And just knowing that makes me happy. Even knowing that I might not get there, but that I'm trying, it makes me happy. And it liberates me, which is like, I don't know what like this whole thing is about. Like realizations or that are liberating. It just makes me happy. Just these two things, just applying them every day, but having a positive mindset behind it, like an optimistic one. I'm very optimistic that like even if I die, nobody's gonna care, but I'm optimistic about it because then it frees me up to do anything that makes me happy, and knowing that nobody is really gonna care, and that at the end of the day I can be happy. At the end of the day, I can be happy. And the other one is, like I said, if everything is my fault, then it frees me up that I can only improve and do better things, and that it will be my fault when I'm successful. And that also liberates me. And like those are two things that like I have been applying, mostly the second one. I've been applying it for a long time, but I never saw that it could affect other people in a negative way, because it only affected me in a positive way. And now I see that it could affect people in a negative way, and I can see how it could affect them in a negative way. And I don't know how to help that. And I'm also not trying to help that. I'm just saying that in this scenario, I don't know if that would be a viable solution for everybody. I just know that these are liberating realizations, specifically that I've had. And the later one that nobody cares if I'm gonna die, is like a more recent one that I haven't fully explored, but I've kind of have felt. And I don't know, and it's like it's like my current mantra. I don't know.
No, I get it. Now, I say if I would have known this was the topic today, I would come up with my own. I have very generalized ones, but I don't know if they're like my mantra. Like I live them every day.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a lot of mantras that I live every day. These are just the ones that, I mean, I think everybody and me in general, I go through phases of mantras.
Yeah, I do the same.
I used to have the Bruce Lee one, then an Arnold Schwarzenegger one, then like
Bruce Lee one. Which ones that was do the same thing every day?
Yeah. Nobody is afraid of the man that only practices one kick.
No, it's like, I'm not afraid of the man who practices 100 different kicks. I'm afraid of the man who practices one kick for
100 days or 10,000 days.
For 10,000 days, something like that. Yeah.
So that was my mantra. I think that's still part of my mantras, but it's...
No.
And even though I live it every day, it's not the one that is currently in my head. I think the Arnold Schwarzenegger one... it's like the whole show your weaknesses, expose your weaknesses. The other, and this is like the most current one, and I think I've had several ones.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just piling them up one after the other, just piling them up, and it's fine. I like having that information in my brain.
Yeah. I think right now. You're trying to the time. I think right now I kind of been living by the philosophy of like one of like Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life. By now, which is that you should take care of yourself the way you would take care of someone you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that what it says?
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? Because I don't know, it seemed very easy before to just be like, why work hard? It's like, why do I don't want to. It doesn't make me happy. But like one of the things in the book that he says is like, people are more likely to give medicine to their pets than they are to actually take their own medicine when they get prescribed medicine, which is like, makes no sense. It's like, I mean, obviously you love your pet and you want them to be healthy, but like, why don't you treat yourself in that same way? Mm-hmm. And I just kind of been living by that, because it's like, I want to be healthy, and I don't know. I feel like for a long time I've cared a lot about other people more than I've cared about myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's backfired a lot of times, you know. So like, I think I'm very focused right now on just like taking care of myself, cause like I feel like I should come first.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think this is the first time I really see it that way.
Okay.
I think that's like my mantra right now.
Taking care of yourself as if you were taking care of somebody else that you love.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that one. It's a good book that I know you're never gonna read.
I watched the videos.
Yeah, you watch it. I mean, you're not a reader,
Mm.
which is fine. Like I found that, like I know that Ty says that everybody should learn how to read, but reading is not for everybody. And like, I think I mean he's always been a reader. I mean it's a skill too you should have, but it's not. It's like if you're not a reader, like just do podcasts or something. You know, figure out a way to get information in your brain.
Yeah, I mean currently the way that I read, and even when I prep out stuff, even for like Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
like I'm prepping out stuff and I'm reading like suggestions and options and stories from other people.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm reading it, I always forget what I just read. I'm like, okay, that's a good suggestion, and then like I'm like, what did I read? What was the suggestion? I have to, as I read it, I have to draw it. I cannot write it. If I write it, I will forget. I have to draw it.
That's funny.
So if like it says, I don't know, something specific, I'll write that and then I'll circle it and then I'll connect it to something else, and like it has to be a drawing
Yeah.
while I read in order for me to understand it. And that's how I kinda, it makes it easier. I'm not saying, I mean, reading could be for everybody. You just have to be really disciplined.
Yeah, it really is.
But in a way, in order for me to skip that challenge, I make it easier for myself, and I know myself. Therefore, I can apply some of my strengths and just like, it'll be much easier if I just draw it. Okay, understood. I read it.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I think with that we can cut
Yeah, I
it
think we can
at
end
this
it
time.
here.
Just to end it within the 20-minute mark.
That's what we're gonna get it at now.
Yeah. So with that being said, these are conversations with my little bro. Where I have conversations with my little bro, just for future recall. If I wanna listen to some of the ideas that I had, I can always watch this. And yeah.
Yeah, and I can do the same. Although I probably won't.
Hey, bye.